Well, welcome everybody to a new episode of Flower Circus Talks. Today a special episode. We'll talk with Imran, the Director of Operations of Black Tulip Group. So I'm very honored that he is with us today. So quickly invite him into the live stream. If you have any questions, don't be afraid, just ask them. So let's invite Imran into the live stream. Welcome.
Hi, Mr. John. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah.
Join you with the live today.
Yeah, it's great to have you. It's a big honor. Such a big company.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. First of all, before we start with your company video, so people can see what you do for the people who don't know your company yet, how's the situation over there?
The situation now is pretty good now compared to last 2-3 months, but not like what it was before the pandemic. Little bit of increase, but not as good as before the pandemic. So hoping
Okay.
for something betterment with fingers crossed for the near future.
Yeah.
Let's hope for the best. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's good to first show the corporate video, and then yeah, we can continue our talks.
Sure.
Can we imagine a world without flowers? It would mean no colors, no fragrance in our lives. Black Tulip Flowers has 14 farms in 3 countries and over 100 contract farming entities in 25 countries. It has more than 5,000 employees and over 150 vehicles to handle 2,900 tons of cut flowers. The Netherlands, Colombia, Kenya, Ecuador and Ethiopia are frontline countries in floriculture and flower trade. Black Tulip Flowers is the largest grower of flowers in the African continent, with most of its farms located in Kenya. The production divisions of Black Tulip Flowers consist of 11 bee-friendly farms in Kenya with an extent of 1,500 acres, 2 in India with 40 acres and 1 in Ethiopia with 250 acres, making the total area of 1,790 acres under floriculture. The airports where the cargo has been downloaded from the cargo aircrafts. Black Tulip Flowers LLC, with its headquarters in Sharjah, is the leading floral supplier in the Middle East, with a network of 39 companies strategically located in the UAE, Kenya, Oman, Qatar, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia and India. The warehouse divisions of Black Tulip Flowers receive the consignments, check the contents and make a record. Each personnel in charge of a distribution circuit has a separate storage division in the warehouse from which flowers will be sent out for distribution, and the balance will be deposited back in the same storage division after distribution. This will help in making each sales team take responsibility of the quantity that is entrusted to them. Besides flowers, foliages and plants, several accessories to be distributed to dealers and customers are also stored in the warehouses. They may even convey feelings of support in an ailment for speedy recovery or condolences in departing for bringing consolation. Every moment, millions of flowers leave their bowers and move far and wide, exchanging hands and delivering feelings of love, joy and support. But the retail division of Black Tulip Flowers focuses on customer satisfaction with tailor-made products and ensure punctual supply to their regular customers. The retail outlets are spacious enough to accommodate the discerning customers who come to select their favorite flowers. All retail outlets are temperature controlled to keep the flowers garden fresh. There are hundreds of florists from different countries with expertise and craftsmanship in creating great floral designs within no time. Through sustainability initiatives and winning universal trust, Black Tulip Flowers is moving forward and upward in full throttle.
It is unbelievable how this company has grown over almost 30 years now. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the last 30 years, because I read on the website it started as a small flower shop.
I just started in 1990 by my uncles and my dad, Mr. Bashir Ahmed, Mr. Ihya, and my dad, Mr. Sadiq. And later on, joined our group general manager, Mr. Sani Abraham. So we
Yeah,
were just a small shop with just three employees. Three of them, four of them, they just started this company, and now we are a group strength of around 6,000, 8,000 employees around the globe, and we are widespread across Africa, Far East Asia, Middle East, and exporting to Europe and Far East Asia, Middle East, and I can probably say that we are the number one in Africa in production of fresh cut flowers, and
yeah,
leading the wholesalers in the Middle East.
yeah,
And we do have retail outlets in UAE, up to around 20 retail outlets, and furthermore,
yeah.
in the plan to expand our retail outlets too.
Okay, yeah, it's unbelievable, because yeah, you're going very quickly. I mean, last year you also took over Batian.
Yeah, that was a big leap actually in our branch, and then we even took over a farm in Ethiopia. So
Yeah,
before we didn't, we only focusing on Kenya, but last year we even started our production unit in Ethiopia, and yeah, so hoping for, but in Ethiopia we're only focusing on roses as of now, but
yeah.
hopefully by next year we are going to expand some other varieties of flowers as well in Ethiopia.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Ethiopia, you also took over a farm. Let me check the name. It was Hansa Farms, right?
exactly, Hansa.
Yeah, and they are specialized in spray roses, if I'm correct.
No, the main is standard roses, but they have
Okay.
a small quantity of spray rose as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's growing really fast, and you are actually doing the whole chain from producing until sales and everything in between.
Yeah, I can say that we are. That's a major strength actually. We have a horizontal integration, like starting from the production. Then we have our own logistics freight forwarding company in Kenya, and then
Yeah.
we have the wholesale in all the GCC countries, and then retail outlets. Yeah, so we are like from the whole chain. We are into it. So that's our major strength backbone for our company's growth as well.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. You know exactly what sells well, what doesn't sell well, and you can control the whole chain as well, which is very important.
Yeah, because once there's an information flow, because in a business you need to have a proper information flow from one segment to the other one. So when we are in all the chains actually, so we can pass the information what the market actually wants. We can go deep into the niche market, like
Yeah,
what the end consumer is looking for. So if you're only a wholesaler, you can only communicate with the customer, but when you're a retailer, you can communicate with the end consumer what he or she likes. So that will be communicated to the farms, and we are like always like revamping our farms with the different varieties. We are like 365 days we have like different varieties being tested in our farms with different breeders like from Spain, Portugal, Netherlands, and everywhere. So
yeah,
always doing research on it.
yeah. That's great, and that's I think the way to go to communicate more between all the branches,
Exactly.
because I think there's still a lot of sales that can be made if there's better communication.
Exactly, that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, can you talk us through when COVID-19 struck? What happened at your company, and how did you manage it?
Actually, the COVID, which stuck here in mid of March, actually, the pandemic issue generated. So it was the time when it's UAE Arabic Mother's Day. So say,
Yeah,
from February to May, those 4 months are the crucial big season for us, big months for us in the whole year.
yeah,
So Valentine Day was really good, then followed by Mother's Day. But mid of March, the pandemic started, and then we were totally in a confused state, like what's going to happen. But by God's grace, we did pretty well with the Mother's Day. But after that, we were totally shut until first week of April,
yeah,
and there was no flights or anything. We couldn't bring our products in, and UAE government started the sterilization program to ensure the safety of the people in the country. And
Yeah,
we ourselves had many training programs for our staffs, because for us, the more than we do a business, life was in threat. Not only for our company or for UAE as such, for the whole world, the life was in threat, and even now. So we had a mini training program and many uh, uh, this thing, what to say, checking health checkups with our staffs to ensure
yeah,
their health and their hygiene. And then we gave them all the safety PPs like masks, gloves, and whatever. Like even when they come in for the duties, we need to check their temperature and everything. We were so cautious, and cleanliness and hygiene of our where we are working. So we were like sanitizing our workplaces, our staff accommodation as well, because that was a prime focus to keep
yeah.
them safe. So once they are safe, the business we can keep them, because they are the backbone of our company, as you know.
Yeah, that's totally true. Without people, you cannot do anything.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
later on, to keep the, so at that time we didn't have a mindset to take a profit or anything, but we need to keep the business alive, as well as my staff and their family in well-being. So what we did,
yeah,
like we started bringing in flowers through cargo flights. But usually we don't do that. We do it through the passenger aircraft. But
yeah,
unfortunately, the airports were closed and the passenger flights were grounded all around the globe.
yeah,
So once it was that the freight was too high for us, and then it was a big task. But still, our motive was not to make a profit out of it, rather to keep the business alive. So, and tell the people that Black Tulip hasn't shut, even in this kind of what to say, a pandemic situation, a life threat,
yeah.
but we are like alive, and we are like doing our best. So we were bringing in small quantities, and then we were like doing quite a small business. But later on, after May month, mid of May, like May end, I could say, the restrictions were eased a bit, and then
Yeah.
we were able to bring in more of shipments from
Okay.
Kenya, basically our own products, because other products we couldn't bring in. And then it just started with that. And
Yeah.
now, and when we compare the business with April, May, June, July, it's pretty good. It's a bit increasing, I would say.
Okay. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the situation? Was there a difference in sales? Like you're doing retail as well, so the supermarkets, were they still open, and were they able to sell flowers? And what about the flower shops? Were they open or?
No, all the supermarkets, they were actually open only for the grocery sales, because,
Okay.
as I told you, livelihood for everyone was a threat. So only the grocery and some foodstuffs they can purchase, but none of the retail shops was open. Actually, flowers is considered as a luxury product, and
Yeah.
it is not a much needed one at that moment of the pandemic. So people were much focused on purchasing of groceries, medicines, and all those stuffs, but not flowers. But still, we did a good work with the online sales. So people, like, they wanted to share their love to their friends, relatives, and everything. As you know, like, flowers basically gives you mental strength, and it gives a peace of mind to you.
Yeah.
So they couldn't move from here to there, but still our online sales was good. We could get some special permission from the government, and then deliver our fresh flowers to our clients.
Oh,
So
that's really good.
like the online was good, but other than
Yeah.
that, the retails, the hotels are still closed. No weddings and events, which is a major business for us, is still closed for us. Almost like,
Okay.
I would say, 60% of our business is down still. And I'm just
That's a lot.
we're all hoping as an industry to revive soon from this
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah, of course. We mean, yeah, let's hope there's not a second wave coming, or if there is one, that it will not be as bad as the first wave.
Exactly.
Uh, Shahad Farouk is saying, "Good to see you raising awareness, Mr. Imran."
Thank you, Mr. Farouk. Thanks a lot.
And Cookie Noel is asking, "What about the freight rates currently?
Uh,
Do you know
as I
anything about it?"
Yeah, freight rates. Actually, I told you we are not bringing using the passenger flights as of now. We're using the cargo. It's like you won't believe me. It's unbelievably 100 to 200% the price have been increased, and more than that, even the availability of the space for fresh flowers is a constraint for us mainly. So now the all the agencies, they give a priority for the foodstuffs like fruits, vegetables, meat. So
Yeah,
livelihood is the first priority for everyone in the globe. So
yeah,
always now at this moment the fresh flowers are kept after the foodstuffs.
yeah.
What is the problem with the flights as of now?
Yeah, and yeah, the situation in Africa isn't as easy as well. I mean, we have COVID, but there were floods in Kenya. Did it influence your business as well?
Yeah, it is still influencing because even in our farm side we have reduced, we have taken some measures with the pandemic, and then we have reduced our production area, and then we have reduced our staff strength as well, because we need to have a safe distance and everything. So now once the demand is picking up, it's not like a huge rise in the demand but a small rise, but still we are not able to fulfill that small rise as well,
Yeah,
because we have reduced the production area. For example, if you say chrysanthemum, it needs to have 12 weeks ahead of planting to maintain the cycle and go ahead.
yeah,
But we didn't do that one. We didn't know what's going to happen tomorrow. There was nothing assured for tomorrow. So
yeah,
now we're just coping up with quick remedy so that we can catch up with the market. But still, it's a tough situation.
yeah. Yeah, that's what we see worldwide. I think that also, if we're talking about chrysanthemum in Holland, there was also a lot of growers not planting or planting less. And that's what you can see now in Holland. There is a little bit of demand, but there is almost no flowers or not enough flowers.
Exactly, everywhere, like say about not only Netherlands, Kenya, the prime growers of chrysanthemums like Malaysia, then Kenya, then Netherlands, South Africa, everywhere it's like low, and
Yeah,
we have a demand for it, but unfortunately we are not able to supply the demand, the small
yeah,
demand as well, which is breaking our heart actually. So as
yeah,
a big monopoly in the market, we are trying our best to revive soon and then cater the market and bring it back to normal. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let's hope yeah. If there is a normal, if there was even a normal, let's hope we can go back to that very soon. You were also talking about the freight. You have your own freight agency as well. Does it help when you have to ship the freight or the flowers?
Yeah, actually, we have the freight agency only in Kenya. So, in that case, we have a very good influence over the airlines, because we use all the airlines. We don't support only one. We use like Emirates, we use Etihad, we use Kenya Airways, everything. So we have a
Yeah,
good influence, and not only we are, as I told you, we are not only supplying from Kenya to Middle East and to our own group. We even export to Europe, Far East Asia, and other parts of African countries also. So
yeah,
we do get a special preference, but still that special preference is like influenced with foodstuffs. So once they have purity, we are kept back.
yeah, yeah. Of course. I mean that's
Yeah,
yeah, the food and the medicines. That's the things that
exactly.
have to go first.
Purity, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Said Ibrahim is asking, tell us about your staff supported in the pandemic. What you did? I think you already told a bit that you trained your staff during the pandemic.
Yeah, we did. We gave them some hands-on training how to like especially in our retail stores, like there are many visitors nowadays coming in because all the malls have been opened in UAE and everything. And whenever the staffs, the customers, they come in, they need to have a temperature check, and then they must wear the masks. And we went like we reduced our staff strength, so we sent our 50% of our staff strength to back to the home countries, and then we helped them by booking a special chartered flight to India from
Okay.
UAE, so because to help them to go and safely reach their family, and because that we don't want them to be worried here with the pandemic situation, at least they can be healthy and mentally and physically with their family and their friends.
Oh,
So
that's great.
we have done all those necessary steps.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great thing to do to get your staff back home and be with their families.
Exactly. And we're not going to leave them alone, but in future, like once the business picks up, we are going to call them back. So, our company is 3 decades old, and most of the staffs are being with us for almost like 10 to 15 years. And
Yeah.
we are not in a position to leave them or like anything, but we're going to for sure call them. And we are in a positive mindset that the business will be picking up by September or end of December, and then we're going to do good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Seat is saying it was a very wise thing to do, and
Decide.
yeah, I mean now we can say that, but when we didn't know what was happening, to do such a thing, which has much impact, it's great to do it. I've got another question here. You're also sending flowers to Australia. What about the fumigation procedures for Australia? Do you know anything about it?
Fumigation, yeah, we are supplying to Australia, but we don't do the fumigation process. But we do it in the along with the help of the kefis in Kenya. So at the
Okay.
airport, so we do the fumigation and then we send them. But now after taking over Batian, we have a vacuum cooling chamber, and then
Yeah,
we are able to fumigate it there. And then we are extending it furthermore because there's a good demand for the flowers in Australia.
yeah. Yeah, especially we're talking with somebody in Australia. The growers had a fantastic Mother's Day over there,
Exactly, yeah.
um, and that's also because a lot of people start to enjoy flowers more because they're sitting at home and also with plants. Is that the same? If you see it in the Middle East, that people take more plants in their houses or flowers?
Yeah, it does. Flowers like wherever you can see behind me, you can see it's so beautiful and pretty. It gives a peace
Yeah,
of mind, and then it actually increases the aesthetic value of the surrounding where you are. So every day morning, like if you go to your office and then you have a potted plant, a potted flowering plant in your table, and then even if you are like dull or upset or you're like angry, you just go see it and then you get a peace of mind. So it's
yeah.
mother nature basically. So mother nature always treats you well, and it's good to have some fresh plants or flowers around you always to keep you energetic and with a positive note.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, there are a lot of studies showing that as well, and those studies go back for many years. And
Exactly.
finally, I think nobody really told about it, but the people found out during this crisis that it was good for them. It was somewhere in their minds.
Yeah, I actually wanted to convey a message through this webinar to all the people around the globe and the viewers of Flower Circus. Like, please keep buying flowers and then support the industry because it gives you a good, what to say, uh, good thought, good hope, and then positive vibes every day when you're with the flowers or plants or whatever
Yeah,
it is, something related to nature, something related to Mother Nature. So always support flower industry and then keep buying flowers, even whatever it is, a bad event or good one, whatever it is, because flowers are being used in all events, starting from a baby birth, wedding, a birthday party, a funeral, everything. So for each purpose, there are different varieties and different colors of flowers being used.
yeah.
So it's usually a good note to keep flowers or plants in your surroundings with you.
Yeah, yeah, plants and flowers are always there for you in moments of joy, but also in moments of sorrow. They will help you out as well. That's
Exactly.
very nicely said of you.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a question here. Can you tell us in short about the Black Tulip, the 30-year success story, and the milestones achieved in those years?
30, as I told you, like it was, see, we hail from back in India. So it was always started by my uncles and my dad, and I'm the second generation taking over it, and I'm into the business for 3 years now. And then we just started with a small shop in a state called Ajman in UAE, and then we moved to Sharjah, and then we used
Yeah,
to have like weekly once a shipment with hardly of 5 boxes or something like that. And later on we increased, and now we have everyday shipment. And then we are like we used to import like 6 to 8 tons per day. And then the main success for us is the team strength. So we are a team. We don't like
yeah,
say it as like one person success. It's a team success. As a Black Tulip Group, we always says. So that's why we call ourselves we the flower people. So we are a group of team who's trying to achieve more and more. So you can say like after with a small start 30 years behind, now we have around 10 farms in Kenya and 3 farms in Ethiopia, and then we have 20 retail outlets, and then wholesale in Far East, in Malaysia, then Oman, Saudi, Qatar, then Thailand. We have all our branches spread. So
Yeah,
these are the
yeah,
milestones, and still, as I told you, we are like you as for my concern, like I want to get into edible products. So not only constrained to cut flowers, take my company into edible products. So we just started small amount of herbs production in Kenya, and then
okay,
putting those herbs to say Germany, Holland, and UK in a small
yeah,
amount, but still we are not a very big monopoly in that one.
yeah.
So it's the beginning. It's just a scratch.
Yeah, I mean, you started very small 30 years ago in flowers as well, so we can already see where that can lead to. So,
Yeah, yeah.
if we got another question, please tell about the fate of flower retail sector. I think you've got several branches of flower shops as well.
Yeah, actually, when you see like our retail outlets are spread across UAE, and then we have 20 retail outlets, but each retail shops, they focus on they're in different locations, and each location is like dominated by different nationalities, because UAE is a multinationality country, and then
Yeah,
each retail outlets in a different area, and then the people those who come there is like. What to say, Russians in one place, Europeans, Arabic. So we need to cater different varieties and different styles of bouquets and arrangements for them. So
yeah,
all our what to say, our florists, they are like ready to serve in all sorts of any sort of bouquets and styles, because we have
yeah,
multinational staffs in all sectors, all segments, say from salesman, driver, florist, everyone. So we're not only stuck with, as an Indian company, we're not only hiring Indians, but everyone all around the globe.
yeah. So if you have, let's say, a flower shop for Europeans, there's most likely there's a European florist in there as well, or the staff is trained by Europeans.
The staffs have been they all their staffs have been trained not by the European, but they have been undergone a course in their home country. Most of florists are Filipinos, and then they have
Yeah,
undergone courses in Philippines, and they're all certified. And then once they are back here, like we give them hands-on training, and we teach them how to handle the flowers, how to maintain the shelf life of the flowers, how to maintain the water quality of the water and everything. And then
yeah,
so these are the prime things to be kept in mind when you're a florist and when you're a retail sector.
yeah, yeah. That's great, and I really like the idea that you're focusing because it's a multi, yeah, how do we call it, multi, or it's a very international community,
Mhm.
and that you're focusing on all the communities to sell the flowers,
Yeah,
so they can identify themselves.
but now with this pandemic, retail is a little bit low, not little bit more low. So we are
Yeah,
retail is low, and then everything hotels are closed. So because UAE is basically dependent on tourism. It's a tourism dependent country. So once we have
yeah,
more tourism, then the hotels picks up. They have full occupancy, and then they're expecting to have more flowers and everything. So once they are down, even we are, because it's totally a interlinked process actually.
yeah, yeah.
So this
It's
is
yeah, it's really nice to hear that you were taking care of all the staff, and you can see it. The staff is really happy with you as well. It's always a pleasure and happy to be in the Black Tulip Flowers family. I mean, I think that's a great compliment.
thank you, Mr. Razik.
Yeah. Wild Sweet Flowers is asking, are you selling flowers online as well? And what's the website?
Yeah, we are selling online, as I told you, and then we have different platforms. Like one is like Black Tree Flowers online, and other one is June Flowers, which is our branded for retail. June Flowers is our brand name for retail, and Black Tulip is for our wholesale. And then we are even present in India with the online, and Oman as well. And
Okay.
so we do online sales.
Yeah. So yeah,
So,
blacktulipflowers.com.
online portal.
Okay. We've got a lot of questions here. Nila is asking, if we face such pandemic again in the future, how could we sustain this industry as an essential need category?
So we have already we have already like what to say experienced it, and then we know how to handle the situation.
Yeah,
So it's like we need to be mentally fit for it. We need to nothing to be panicking. So we should never panic for any kind of what to say business crisis or pandemic or anything, because I think world cannot see anything more than this what
yeah,
we have so far dealt with. So it's just like we have to be mentally strong, and then keep our body good, and then keep our staffs always well trained, and then uh, just march ahead.
yeah, yeah. That's for sure. I mean, now we know what can happen. We weren't prepared for it. I mean, the last pandemic was over 100 years ago.
Yeah,
And let's hope it will take more than 100 years again before we have another one.
true. When
But
you look at it, it just happened like every 100 years once. So
yeah,
which was unexpected totally by anyone. Yeah.
yeah. I think one of the things we learned from it is that people go back to nature or get closer to nature, so they get more interested in flowers and plants. That's a really nice thing for our industry, I think.
Yeah, that's one thing. And then in one part I can even say it's a positive thing that this has struck the globe, because it's for everyone. It's like what to say, a first start again for everyone to revamp
Yeah,
themselves and everything. See, for example, like in our farms, like we cut down the production to give a rest for the plants so that they have a regeneration period, and then once they bloom up again, we get a good and fresh flowers. It's same like that with our life also. So you get
yeah,
it's a new start. Now I would say like we reduce our staff strength and everything, and we have gone back to 10 years behind, and
yeah,
then we're going to start it like how it was, how Black Tulip was 10 years behind. We're going to start it that way. So it's nothing good, but nothing bad. Everything is for good. I would say, and take it positive. Nothing to
yeah,
do anything, and just be mentally fit for anything. So
yeah.
nothing is impossible. Everything is possible.
The thing is, we need to learn from this and take the positive things out of it and look forward. Um, that's also one of the questions. What would be you'll be learning, and what's the strategy planned after this pandemic? Do you already have a strategy worked out, or will you continue the same strategy as before?
No, for time being, we're going to continue the same strategy, because we don't know what's going to be the situation. So nothing is predictable. Everything is unpredictable. So what
Yeah,
is tomorrow? No one knows. So
yeah,
no one knows. So everything is unpredictable. So it's just like as it goes. We need to face the globe and just go on with it. We cannot like
yeah,
what to say pre-plan anything. For now, we have restructured our whole management and everything, and then it's working out pretty good for us. If any
yeah,
fault with that, again, we need to do a restructuring, but it depends on the kind of situation we're going to face. So nothing can
yeah.
be pre-planned.
No, that's true. That's and you already start in herbs, of course, as well. So yeah, maybe that will grow a little bit quicker than it was planned.
Yeah, hopefully.
Are there any plans for fruits and vegetables as well to
Fruits and
start in that?
vegetables, we're actually doing a little bit, just exporting, but exporting some other clients, but we are not doing it in person. But I do have a mindset of getting into fruits and vegetables, but not anytime soon, because
Okay.
with this pandemic, I need to, as a team, we need to like build up this one and bring it back to a good platform as it was before. So,
Yeah.
so for time being, I think. That's not in the focus. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
long-term goal, but not a short-term goal for us now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for many companies as well as yours, it was a good time to just restructure and look at all the things that were happening. Yeah, before, and where you have had no time to restructure or just yeah, stand on the sideline and check what was going on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wild Sweet Flowers. In the meanwhile, I was checking all the websites. It's a really great story. I mean, you've got a lot of websites, and all the things from growing until selling in retail, selling online. I mean, I think a lot of companies are jealous of you that you control the whole chain.
No, it's not like it's not like that. We are like one of the players. Like we're not like the only. We always say we're
No.
one of them. We're not the only. Actually, there are many
Yeah.
more players like us.
Yeah, now of course there are, but there are not. I think there are not a lot of players that have from a grower up till online sales and flower shops. And can you tell a little bit about yourself? How did the passion for flowers develop?
So it's actually inherited by my family. So as you know, I did my undergraduate in horticulture back in India.
Yeah,
Then again, I worked in my company for 1 year to just gain experience. Then I flew to Netherlands for my masters, and I
yeah,
did
yeah,
my masters in agricultural production chain management. And it just from young age I was around the flowers and around with my uncles and my dad, and then going to the farms and the shops, and it just inherited. It's a gene, I would say, like the passion for flowers. So it's a big industry, it's a huge industry, and it's really I feel amazed to work in this culture. It's unique and different,
yeah,
serving people to make them happy. It's usually when you give a bouquet to a person, it's with love and passion.
yeah,
So making them happy, like I feel satisfied. So
yeah,
really happy to be in this industry.
yeah.
And
It's
thanks
like
to my
what.
family for initiating and getting into this unique business when there are lots and lots of business, but there's something unique and different, which is like related to the nature.
Yeah, yeah, and it's. I always tell people it's such a great pleasure to see the smile in people's on people's faces, but also in the eyes when they get flowers.
Yeah.
It's yeah, that's priceless. Um, let me see. Andrew Simmons, what would be the Black Tulip Flowers position in this industry after 10 years? If we see what you already reached in 30 years.
After 10 years, like what is it, as I told you, we don't want to restrict ourselves into cut flowers. We want to so for now we are the leading producing company in Africa, and let's say like a major floriculture company in the Middle East. But also we want to be a monopoly, or we want to lead in the horticulture group. So
Yeah, yeah,
horticulture consists of fruits, vegetables, flowers and everything. So maybe in long term we want to venture into fruits and vegetables market as well, and then
yeah.
do what we did 30 years behind. Maybe in future we do something in fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. I've got another question. It's a little bit too long to show in the screen, but I will read it. Being a leading e-commerce flower industry in the UAE, how do you manage your business inventory since the same flower will not be always be available, but you are need to deliver the same or what customer ordered? How do you manage this?
So as I told you, we not only procure flowers from our own farms back in Kenya. We even have other sources from other countries, like say like South Africa, Netherlands, Mauritius, Colombia, Ecuador, India,
Yeah,
Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore. So we have around like 15 to 20 countries we are sourcing from year round the globe. So have it like have the consistency in supply of flowers and delivering.
yeah,
So in that way, like we have many sources. So being in the market for 30 years is just not like a supply of flowers, but even to build up the contacts and sources. So in that way, we have a good sources and contact throughout the globe to bring in flowers and to maintain a consistency. So
yeah,
therefore, we are like serving our customers year round with different varieties of flowers. And for example, now you say like chrysanthemum, not in our farms back in Kenya, we don't have them anymore production. But say we are not bringing it from Malaysia.
yeah.
So it's just like that. If not in Malaysia, then we go for South Africa. So if not South Africa, then Netherlands. That's because of the contact we have built past over the 30 years. That's our strength basically.
Yeah, yeah, you're a world player, so it's and also you can foresee some of the things, not all, of course, but if you see that, yeah, the demand will grow because you have your shops, but the production is low because you have your growers, you can quickly adjust it, I think.
Yeah, with everyone we deal with, even with our staff and with our customers or with our suppliers, we don't deal in a business motive. We deal with them in a family. So it's always like you can ask anyone in our Black Tulip group. It's like we are like family oriented rather than a staff and a management, or a company and a customer, a company and a supplier. We are all like a family. So in that
Yeah,
way, Black Tulip never wants to have a short-term relationship with anyone. We always aim for a long-term one. As what to say, we have some suppliers who are like dealing with us for second, third generations. So it's
uh,
that way we have a good step, good a good hold with our suppliers and our customers.
yeah. Like you said, family business is a lot of is based on trust
Exactly.
and long-term relation. I mean, if something today is a little bit cheaper, it doesn't weigh up till the long-term
That's why,
relationship.
like, our motto is always like business with integrity, trust, and consistency, and a service. These three are the main uh, core points which we follow throughout these years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can see it with the people reacting that they work for the Black Tulip Flowers Group. They are really proud to be a part of it. I can see it in the comments as well. And yeah, here as well. The previous generation has set the bar quite high for the Black Tulip Group. What's your vision and aspiration for the Black Tulip? Let me see. Moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we already discussed this a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not only flowers; it's going to be other things as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you please tell us about the Black Tulip founders, the senior management team, a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. It actually started by my uncle, Mr. Bashir Ahmed, and he's a founder and the chairman, Mr. Ehia, and the managing director, Mr. Sadiq, my dad. And later on, our group general manager, Mr. Sanya Abraham, he joined us. And it was a very tough time for them, and actually they were doing they just came here with nothing, like
Yeah,
35 years back they came from India with nothing, but now they have earned so much. And then I give a big hats off to them. And it's a family, and they have taught me, and I'm following their footsteps. And the core, it's a teamwork. And after that, we have a top leading management who's working day and night to take it forward.
yeah,
So this is the background. And we never had any knowledge on flowers. It was like day by day they learned about the flowers, the import, the marketing strategy. And it's the personal relationship with the customers and the suppliers. The past 30 years they built up the contacts. So it's a great honor for me.
yeah. I can imagine, and it's something like this can only be achieved together and with a lot of hard work. So it's and again, more and more people are saying proud to be part of the Black Tulip family.
Thank
So
you.
that's really nice. People are also interested in the e-commerce. How can you see that develop? Will there be more e-commerce sales, or are you building new platforms or apps to sell more flowers?
For sure, like e-commerce is the trending platform now, as you know, even during the pandemic and after the pandemic. And everyone, they don't nowadays, like all the young generations, they don't want to go to a mall or a boutique to buy any sort of dress or anything, but they want to just
Yeah,
sit at home and then book it online and then get it. So we are working on it, and then we are developing our own software and our own app, so that we can be much easily reachable to our customers, and keep them handy to have what kind of flowers they want for what occasion and everything.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
our own IT team back in India, so who's it's our home team. So we have a set of developers who's working a day and night to according to the trend of the market. So we have everything with us. So it's a big thing.
yeah. It's great, and I've seen some really nice arrangements on the website as well. That you sell something for every occasion. Yeah, also for the babies, even with the clothes in it, together with plants. It was really interesting. I haven't seen something like this in Europe yet.
It's a value addition actually. So even like for birthdays, we have cakes, and for Valentine's Day, some chocolates, and this for a baby birth, we have clothes, and yeah, it's just a value addition. It's not only flowers or plants, but
Yeah,
something adding value to the product. So we need to like keep on changing and increasing our product range every day, not only
yeah,
keeping ourselves constrained to one particular thing.
yeah. That's a really good thing, I think, what you did there, because yeah, people come in for a gift, and if you have several gifts and you can combine it, that's always good for the customers, that they can go into your shops and they will always succeed of buying a gift. Um, and one more question: could you tell us more about the edible herbs? What types of herbs are it, or is it's several types? Or
No, we're just dealing with some few varieties like rosemary, thyme, chive, and za'atar. So these are like three, four varieties we're dealing with, and it hasn't gone in a very huge volume, but a small scale. And
yeah,
hopefully, maybe we increase with it later in the future.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's and again, I mean, I've done a lot of interviews already, but so many people telling that they are proud of working at the company. I've never had before, so that's really nice.
Thank you.
Uh, and one more question: are there any plans to open new branches in Southeast Asia region, like Singapore, Malaysia, and India?
Actually, we have a branch in Malaysia. We have a wholesale we have a wholesale store and a retail store. And India also we have two three farms, and then we have a wholesale store, and then we have a retail store as well.
Yeah,
Singapore we are supplying to our clients, but we are not into it. We're not into the wholesale market in Singapore as of now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we even take
Well,
big wedding orders in India. So whatever setup we have here in UAE, same thing. It's in India as well.
okay. Yeah, and yeah, the weddings in India, they are a very big thing. Uh, I
Yeah,
read
yeah,
about
exactly.
it. Yeah,
It's a big fat weddings always in India, and we have to. It's a big market. It's a very big opportunity once you know the market well, and then you just have to penetrate and go, keep on going, and it's
yeah,
a huge volume of business in India.
yeah. And how's in India at the moment? I mean, are there still weddings, or is not allowed to do weddings?
As you know, like India is becoming worse day by day with the
Yeah,
COVID-19. So for now, all the weddings, everything is stopped as how it is in UAE and other countries. So it's the same as in India as well. So we don't have much of weddings now. But
yeah.
just the fingers crossed, and we're hoping for it to take over soon, maybe later in the year.
Yeah, yeah, late in the year, and I think 2021 will be the big wedding year.
Yeah, hopefully with
Because,
God's grace.
yeah, so yeah, we all the wedding planners and the event planners have to be ready for next year. So they need to calm down now, and then they can go for 200% next year.
Yeah,
Uh, Again, happy to be proud to be part of the Black Tulip Group.
thank you.
Um, yeah, people are asking. Tell about your family support for your growth. Can you say something about that?
Yeah, actually, my family support is like usually they like asked me, they support me in all ways. Like they told me this a company, and then as I told you, I had a build up of interest in a young age uh,
Yeah,
for flowers and horticulture and agriculture. So because it's a family business, family run business, and whatever mistakes I do even now, because I told you it's just 3 years I'm into the business. Like they keep boosting me up, and my two younger brothers, they just finished their schooling just last year, and then they are in the pipeline to join the business as well. I hope
yeah,
with their support, maybe we'll be well, reaching greater heights with the platform my uncles and my dad they have made for us. So with me and my two brothers, we are just hoping for the best for the future, and then raising our group into much more higher levels in the future with God's grace.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all about making your family proud as well, and what they build, of course, for you and your brothers as well. And
And
I think,
like each day is a learning for me, like each day, like when I see my uh, my uh, my elders, like in the company, like my top management teams, even they are with us for almost like 10 15 years, and then my uncles and my dad, I see them, and each day is a learning thing for me. It's something new I learn from them,
yeah,
because it's 30 years, not simple, 30 years experiences, something, it's ocean, big ocean. So you
yeah.
need to, like you need to take each and every single point from them, and then you should never let it go down. You must like keep it high and then take it to the next level. That's my motto. uh, Being the next generation picking up the business, so it's a huge responsibility on my head.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. But I can see the passion and the strength in you. So I'm sure you will, yeah, you will continue and even grow this business for the coming years.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, it's flower business. We can't sit down for a week and think, okay, we had a good week. Now we can rest for a week because
No,
it's
no, that's not at all possible, because it's highly perishable. Because fruits and vegetables, they call it as perishable, but cut flowers, they're highly perishable. So you cannot take rest. It's always like year round. You must be active, and you must be prompt with the supply and everything. So maintain
yeah,
the quality and the freshness, and everything is highly important.
yeah. It really is. You really have to be on top of the game all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Let me see. We've got some more questions here coming up. Uh, yeah, somebody asking what pushes you to hold this three-decade company so strong. I think we can already see your dedication. So yeah, that's the question answered. Um, uh, and what is the strategy for covering more area through online e-commerce sales in Asia and India? Can you say something about that?
So this question, like there are many companies which are there to cater, do a service between the company, the supplier, and the end consumer. So maybe like say for example in UAE we have Talabat, we have joint ventured with certain companies like Talabat, Deliveroo,
Yeah,
InstaStop. So in UAE, same way with in India also Zomato, Uber, and all those companies. So it's apart from our staff, my staff, to reaching the customers, even like through them. So when they're getting orders, like we can push out more products, and then to go widespread. So
yeah,
this we can spend, and then the more and more, like revamp our site, so make it easier for the suppliers, like value addition, as I told you, when for like birthdays or any special occasions, Valentine's Day, anything, a baby birth, anything, keep on adding values, not only with flowers and plants, like chocolates and cakes, some dress, anything, and Christmas, for example, and Easter eggs, something like that. So
okay,
give the customers something new. So it's not
yeah.
every year or every 6 months one, just revamp your site, give them good products, so they'll be increased, and they get interested, and then returning back to you to purchase more and more.
Yep. Yeah, if you keep on selling the same white lilies or white roses or chrysanthemums and you don't change it, people get bored.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There are varieties of flowers, like there's millions of flowers around the globe. So you can use all of them, but being just restricted to the standard roses, chrysanthemum, gypsos, hydrangeas, what you say, doesn't make any change. Keep on using
yeah,
different colors, different varieties, and bring it from different countries which are available around the globe.
yeah, and do the added value as well, like you said. I think that's a wise lesson for a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily always have to be flowers and a nice package around it. You can do much more with it, like we've seen with the baby's clothing.
Yeah, and the way you present it also, it matters. How you're going to present it with a neat wrapping, with some kind of ribbons, and I would even say like the color even makes a difference. Like mostly when you're going to gift, suppose the customers, they just come and they ask us like, I need flowers, I need to gift my friend, a girlfriend, and then you just advise them like, give them red or pink, because girls usually prefer red and pink. And then if
Yeah.
it's something for a boy you're going to present, it's also usually blue. And then if you're going to give it for a person who's healing in the hospital, and then give him yellow or orange, which gives them a peace of mind. So each thing, like, so our florists and our staffs, they are like educated well enough to give these ideas to our customers. That's why we always deal with the customers like a family. So that's why we have always a bounce back from our customers.
Yeah, that's really good. That's what I'm telling a lot of florists as well during our shows. If
Yeah,
somebody comes into the flower shop, they see you as the florist or as the specialist. So you need to help the customer to decide what they want.
exactly. Yeah,
And that's very important, because a happy customer is a customer which comes back.
true.
So yeah, it's really nice. But it's a very inspiring story how to build up such a big company within 30 years. I mean, your father, your uncles, and you are continuing this story, and hopefully many generations will follow. It's a great story. I mean, it's just a few of those stories that they exist, I think, especially in the floral industry. But it's a great one.
Thank you.
And also to see so many happy employees, and that's
Oh,
also
yeah,
fantastic.
we have grown up this much, like we are like proud. I feel proud at the moment. Like so many people, they are feeling happy to be with our group, and then it's a proud moment for us. For me, when I read those messages and everything, I thank
Yeah,
wholeheartedly on behalf of my family, to all my staffs, for being a big support for us all these years. Thanks a lot.
yeah. Okay, I've got one question, one final question, I think, because we're almost talking already for 1 hour. uh, Mr. Imran, just curious to know, did you work with any billionaire wedding ceremony for floral arrangements?
Yeah, actually, we dealt with in India with Ambani Group twice actually. So it was a very big fat wedding, and that was a big one. It happened one in last year and the other one the previous year. So those two. So we almost imported like 3 to 4 tons only for that wedding flowers, and then
Wow.
we did a photo shoot for one of top cinema actress, and we have a wedding in pipeline with another big actress in India, but
Yeah,
unfortunately because of the pandemic, it's been put on hold. So
yeah,
hopefully next year we'll be doing that one. So yeah, as I told you, India is a big market, and then we need to penetrate in, and it's a big competitive market.
yeah. It really is. So and it's great to work on those things as well. I mean, to see all the beauty together,
Yeah.
it's great. So I want to thank you, Mr. Imran, for having the time for us and doing this interview.
Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity, Mr. John, and it was nice talking to you. And I just have one information again, the same thing to all the viewers and all your subscribers. Please keep buying flowers and
Yeah,
support the whole industry, not only Black Tulip Group. I don't want to say it's an industry. So keep buying flowers. It gives you peace of mind, and then keeps your soul happy, and then it gives aesthetic value wherever you are. So support us, and then stay safe and stay healthy, everyone. Thanks,
yeah,
John, for inviting me, and it's a great pleasure for me and my family and my company to be in the show. Thanks a lot.
yeah. And thank you again. And once you're in Holland, you're more than welcome to come and have a chat again.
Sure, sure. Any day. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully we'll see you next week again for a new Flower Circus Talks. And stay safe, and hope to see you soon.